Brooke with The Buttered Home. Welcome to Messy Kitchen Monday. We are live here every Monday night on Facebook and Instagram, and we love participation. So on Facebook, if you will tell us where you're watching from, give us a wave, and share this video, we would really appreciate you. On Instagram, you're welcome to comment. I haven't quite figured out how to reply to those comments, but I will do my very best. If you have a question, feel free to ask it, and I'll direct message you from Instagram and answer it the best I can. We're so excited. We've had a really big day today. I had a branding photo shoot done this morning with Nicola at 10 Oaks Photography in Leetahatchee, and it was so much fun. Tanner, didn't we have a great time?
It was great.
We made a huge mess, so it was so much fun, and I posted one of the pictures earlier on Facebook, and my story on Instagram has some sneak peeks in there too. So we had a lot of fun doing that, and just having fun with it and making a mess, and y'all know that's what I'm all about. But nonetheless, we got a lot of exciting things going on. The Messy Kitchen is getting a makeover. So we're half messy and we're half not messy tonight. If you can see my beautiful, beautiful cabinets. Doesn't it look great in here? I'm just so excited I could just dance and sing, but I'm not going to subject you all to that. So my best friend Ray and my husband, they're on the top of my people list. They are my favorite people this week for doing all this. Tanner's giving me a dirty look, and Tanner did my hair and makeup today, so she's on top of my list too. So anyway, we're really excited, but we are still semi-messier than normal. As you can see, my backsplash is gone, so you'll just have to bear with us tonight. One of the things we pride ourselves on at the Messy Kitchen is being 100% real 100% of the time. So, you know, ordinarily I would have said no Messy Kitchen Monday tonight, but I don't care. I could care less about I could not care less about the mess. I couldn't get that out. So anyway, it's a work in progress. Things don't happen overnight. We work just like you guys do. We have to do things a little at a time, so we like to share that with all of you too. So talking about things that we like on Messy Kitchen Monday, one of the whole reasons why we started The Buttered Home was to share tips and tricks, scratch-made cooking, and sprinkle in a little bit of kind of gadgets and things that make our lives easier. I love to cook from scratch. I love gardening. I love all of the things that my grandmama and my great aunt did. I watched them do it my whole growing up life, so that's kind of like my lifestyle. I'm an old lady in a young lady's, 29-year-old lady's body. Anyway, so I'm getting another look. Anyway, so one of the things that I love to do, we have a garden every year, but this is something that you can do anytime, and we like to blanch vegetables to freeze them. So I know a lot of people are like me and go to Sam's or Costco or any of those bulk buying places, and you'll buy like a huge thing of vegetables. And it's great at the holidays when you're going to cook them all, but let's be real, you know, you're not going to cook 2 great big or 4 pounds at a time. I mean, you might, but if you don't, like me, we're going to show you what to do with those. So, you know, like asparagus, we love asparagus. I love them roasted. I also use them in soups and things like that. So they're great to have on hand, but they'll go bad quickly, as will a lot of other produce. So one of the things we're going to do this week is we're going to show you how to take your fresh vegetables, whether they're store-bought or they're out of your garden, and how to blanch them, which is just a quick cook, and preserves them. It preserves the color, the vitamins, all the good stuff about the vegetables, so that you can freeze it and have it later. I don't can, I freeze. I'm not smart enough to can, and canning frankly scares me. So maybe sometime in the next 20 years I'll get where I don't care about that either, and will actually learn how to can things. So this is my process for preserving fresh vegetables. And we've got a little bonus tonight because it's not tomato season here, but one of the big things that I do this method with are my tomatoes every year, because I just always have too many. So I like to freeze tomatoes and make sauces with them and things like that through the winter. So this is also a way that you can do that. I'm going to show you a handy little trick on making that easier. And what I have are just some small Roma tomatoes. But tonight, for our purposes, we have squash, we have carrots. I use a lot of bell pepper in my cooking, so I like to cut those up in ready-to-use portions and blanch them. And I have tomatoes, and of course you saw my favorite asparagus. Behind me, I have a pot of water, not salted, it's just plain water, and it's gently boiling. So you want to get that started and get it to just what I call a soft rolling boil. We're not where it's boiling over or anything like that. And then you want to prepare an ice bath, and then you want to prepare somewhere on your counter so that your vegetables can rest and cool. So I just got a towel down. The other tools you're going to need are going to be a really good pair of tongs. You can use one of those dip colanders or a large slotted spoon. With this pot, I have a strainer. So you'll see me use this a lot in this application. So all these vegetables only need 1 or 2 minutes. You are simply just kind of parboiling them, and it's not even really a parboil because they're not really cooking for more than 2 minutes at a time. So I'm going to take my carrots and my squash and my peppers, and I'm going to do those all at the same time. And I have washed them, I have peeled the carrots and the squash, and I have removed the membrane and seeds from the bell peppers. And then you're just going to carefully place those in your boiling water. And then I'm just going to stir those around and check my time. And they're going to stay in for about 2 minutes. So while those are in the bath, the hot bath, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the asparagus. I think I've shown you guys before that whenever you cook asparagus, that a good rule of thumb, well, there's 2 ways to check where you cut asparagus. One, you can take one and you can just bend it, and the hard, stemmy, woody part will pop off, and you'll be left with what's very good and edible. Another way to do this is sometimes, most times they come and they're packaged with that rubber band. Well, what I normally do is I will take that and I'll use that as a measurement, and I will move my knife about 1/2 inch below that and just cut them off. So, and they keep in that bunch whenever you do that. So then you have all of these items left for your trash bin or compost if you compost. So you're left with just your stalk. And one of the good things about it is if you are blanching these to put them up, you can leave the bands on, and you can take your tongs and submerge them in the water with the bands on there, and it keeps it all together. So it makes life a lot easier. So don't toss these bands, because I always keep a set of 2 to 4 in case I buy like a large bag of these that don't come with the bands on them and I want to put them up, then I can just strap them on there. It make my life a lot easier. So I'm going to check what we've got going back here, and let me put this guy back in there. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. If we can get to them, we sure will. If not, we will answer them as soon as we're done. And we are looking good here. Like I said, they're not really cooking as much as they are just bathing in that really hot water. So now I'm going to carefully remove the colander and shake all that hot water out. And then they immediately go into the ice bath. And you're gonna leave them in there for about a minute or so just to quickly stop that cooking process. Also, if you have vibrant colored vegetables like broccoli, I do this a lot with broccoli, and I'll show you whenever we do the asparagus. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and drop him in because we're not gonna have to use the colander for him. We're just gonna carefully put him in the boiling water and let him sit. I'm checking my time too, so if you see me looking around, I'm just checking my time. So these are cooling in the ice bath, and you'll see that your reds and your oranges are real vibrant and pretty. And I already peeled the squash, but if you, I don't know, I probably should have shown them to you before I put them in there, but they're a lot more yellow than they were whenever we started. So those are cooling off in our ice bath, and they're cooling up. I'm just going to take them out, drain them, and then pour them on a towel, what I don't spill on the floor. And then we're just going to let those rest over there and drain and kind of get dry. And then what we'll do is once they're dry enough, we'll take another paper towel and we'll kind of pat them dry a little bit more, and then we'll put them in our freezer bag and they'll be ready to go. So our asparagus is just about done, and it's so pretty and vibrant. It's actually done. I just checked my time. So I'm going to bring this guy over to you and just show you how pretty and green it turned. It was already green, but it's a much more vibrant green now. And then we're going to just drop him into the ice bath and let him sit. Now, I talked to you a little bit about tomatoes, and I've got some Romas here. The trick to these, this is actually a dual purpose thing. So when I freeze them, I want to also take the skins off. So you could, if you wanted to leave the skins on, you could, and you could drop them in just like this. However, if you think you want them peeled, you're just going to take the bottom here where there's a little bitty dot, and you're just going to run your knife through it gently and then cross hatch it until you've got a little X. And we're going to do those to all of our tomatoes. And it doesn't have to be very deep. Just break the skin so that that water can get underneath the skin. There, I got X marks the spot. And I've got a few back here that I've already done while we're waiting. Well, let me take my asparagus out so it can dry. So when they come out of the ice bath and they cool, they're going to be all shrivelly looking like this guy. And you simply just go where you have X marked the spot, and it just peels right off. It's almost a crime. It's so easy. So they just peel right off, and then you can either trim that end or you can just yank them off, however you want to do it. But you'll see they almost look like a little tulip. I don't know if you can see it or not, but they just, those turn into flaps and they just peel off just like that. And then normally what I do to freeze them is I'll chop them up real good, real fine, because I make sauce with mine. But if you want to chop them a little bit bigger, you could. Just kind of keep in mind what you're going to be doing with them. So that is an easy way to preserve your tomatoes, whether it's summer or winter. And an easy way to peel them too. So if you want to do something with fresh tomatoes in the summer, this is a quick method if you're not freezing, just to peel them. Because I know a lot of people who can them and things like that in the summer have a hard time getting them to peel. I used to do a method in a water bath in the oven. It worked good, it just took forever. This is a lot quicker. I mean, the majority of time that you spend on this is waiting for that water to come to a boil. So I'm going to pop these three guys in my basket and drop them in. And they do take a little bit longer than 2 minutes, but probably 3 to 5. You don't want to cook them too much because you don't want a stewed tomato. I challenge you just to stay with your tomatoes when you're doing those and just watch them, and you'll be able to see when those flaps kind of turn up in the water, and then you can take them out and they're done. So we have a freezer bag, and I have labeled it with the month and year. And then we are just going to take this towel, and I'm going to just pat my squash and carrots and peppers off. And y'all, you just put them in a freezer bag, just like this. Of course, I'm going to fill it with more. And then you get all the air out of it, and you can freeze it. You can take these out, and you can use them for whatever your heart desires. Me, I roast a lot of these, so they come out of the freezer, and they're still fresh. You can set them on the counter, and they'll thaw in a really quick amount of time. And it's all about finding ways to preserve your food. And this is one way in the South that a lot of women have done it for years and years. And it's a way that I do every summer, and sometimes in the winter, whenever I go get a good deal on a 4-pound bag of asparagus that we'll never eat all in one sitting. So that is it for tonight. We have just blanched a whole big mess of vegetables for you, and we hope that you'll use this method too. Hopefully this time next week for February, we'll have the messy kitchen a little less messy. But if not, just know it's a work in progress, and we like having you guys here with us to watch the progress as it goes on. This is it. It's January. January's over. Friday. Friday's the last day. I mean, I can't believe it. It's just, time goes by so fast. And the older I get, the faster it gets. And we count down every month, and probably shouldn't do that, but I count down every month with a new theme. And we have got a lot in store for you in February. We're going to be saving you some time in the kitchen. I'm not doing many sweets for Valentine's Day, but I am going to show you one really good sweet that you can do in your crock pot. And ooh, Lordy, it's so good. So we've got a lot planned for you for next week. For all you busy folks who like to cook but would rather come home from work and it be ready when you get here. That's what February is all about. So we hope you'll join us for that, kicking off next week with next week's Messy Kitchen Monday. As always, if you're new and you want this how-to, and also we're going to have a bonus yummy recipe that kind of goes along with this later in the week. If you want to be the first to find out about these things, you could sign up to follow the Buttered Home on social media. But if you want the recipes, you've got to go to thebutteredhome.com, and you have to sign up for our newsletter. So we hope that you will join us there so that you can be the first to get these and so many more great recipes. So we will see you all next week. Y'all have a wonderful week. And from the Buttered Home to your home, we love y'all.